It's time for our sixth recommendation: use correct punctuation. There's a well-known example of a sentence that can be punctuated in different ways to produce very different meanings. Consider the different interpretations that emerge when this sentence is punctuated. Punctuation is not merely a decoration. Rather, it is used to help show the intended relationships between different elements in a sentence. If punctuation is missing or incorrect, the entire meaning of a sentence can change. If we are working quickly or not paying enough attention, it is easy to overlook punctuation. Fortunately, there are a number of tools available to help, such as the grammar checker built into your word processor or text editor, or free online tools such as Reverso or Grammarly. Be sure to run your text through a basic grammar checker before finalizing it. If you are dictating your text to your phone, remember that many voice-to-text systems understand commands like comma, period, or question mark. Practice saying these at the right places to make your sentences clearer, and always reread your text, focusing on punctuation. Let's talk about our next tip. Don't use all caps for words, headings, or whole sentences. Sometimes people write a word, a heading, or even a whole sentence in all capital letters to add emphasis. However, proper capitalization can be useful for distinguishing between common and proper words, such as the word polish, for example, nail polish, and Polish, the nationality. These would be translated differently into most languages depending on the intended meaning. But if the word is written in all caps, then it is no longer possible for an automatic translation tool to use the initial letter as a clue to the word's intended meaning. So don't use all caps when they are not absolutely necessary. It's time for tip number 8. Avoid unnecessary line breaks. Sometimes when writing a text, you might press Enter to force the beginning of a new line, such as after a relatively short title or heading. It's fine to use a line break at the end of a coherent idea, but avoid inserting a line break in the middle of a unit of meaning. For instance, you might be tempted to insert a line break partway through a title to center it on the page in a more appealing way. However, for translation purposes, a computer will treat the text before the line break as one unit and the text after the line break as a separate unit. These two units will then be translated independently, which could lead to errors, like the one shown here. As you can see, because we pressed Enter, one item, liquid oxygen tank, is now mistakenly translated as two separate items, a liquid and an oxygen tank. Finally, our last recommendation is this: avoid idiomatic expressions. It's true that idiomatic expressions, such as fit as a fiddle, out of the woods, or keep an eye on something, bring a local touch and make texts more engaging. But any expression whose meaning depends on more than just the individual words is difficult to translate, not only for machines. To recap, even seemingly small issues can create significant challenges for automatic translation tools. Our videos have offered tips to help you write in a more translation-friendly way, making your texts easier for others to translate. While the list of tips isn't exhaustive or foolproof, it's a helpful starting point. Finally, it's important to remember that even if a text is written or spoken in a translation-friendly way, it may not be ideal for automatic translation. The decision about whether a text should be translated by a professional translator or a computer tool depends on factors such as the purpose of the text, its subject matter, the language combination, and the level of quality needed. Developing your judgment about whether and when to use an automatic translation tool requires machine translation literacy skills, and our remaining videos and materials will help you do precisely that. For more guidance on this topic, please visit our website. Many of the examples and tips we share come from Lynn Boker's Open Access book, which you can also explore for additional insights. Happy learning!